What's going on, boys? It's Clements back on the mic, back with another banger of a video, and today I'm going to be answering a big time frequently asked question amongst the Warzone and Call of Duty community. I've been asked this question myself a lot on Twitter, and I always see this question floating around all over social media, and that question is, will we be able to use earned or purchased loot such as skins, weapon blueprints, emotes and everything else in between over on Warzone 2 when it eventually drops? So will cosmetics transfer from Warzone 1 to Warzone 2? So I'm sure you guys are in the same boat as me. I've been playing Warzone since Season 3 of Modern Warfare 2019, and a lot of people will have probably played a lot sooner than me, probably from day 1 of Modern Warfare, but back then I was taking a break from Call of Duty. I didn't really enjoy Black Ops 4, and so I've just moved on to other games for a bit, but my mates wanted me to download Warzone because of how good it was at the time. Personally, I think when Warzone was fresh and during MW's life cycle and Modern Warfare's seasonal content updates was peak Warzone. That's what I personally think. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on that, but that's when I think Warzone was at its best. And then Cold War came along, it was alright, and then Vanguard came along and, you know, Pacific killed it off. Anyway, that's a different video. So yeah, I've been playing since around Season 3, and as you can imagine, I've built quite a collection of cosmetics. Some I bought from the in-game store, and some I've earned playing countless hours of Verdansk and multiplayer year after year as new titles have released. I've spent countless hours playing and thousands of pounds over the 3 years of Warzone's life cycle. And a lot of these cosmetics do mean something, such as limited time packs I know people can't obtain anymore, like the Billy Jigsaw skin that was last around to purchase around 3 years ago, and I am a proud owner of that bundle, and I'm a proud owner of a lot of bundles, like that one that are extremely rare. So yeah, I'm a proud owner of Jigsaw, I'm a proud owner of a lot of bundles. And the value of these cosmetic items has definitely improved and has always been great since Warzone has come about, because usually after around a year of multiplayer, all items that existed and that were bought essentially were deemed as useless and worthless because those items never really carried over to newer Call of Duty types. But with Warzone basically bringing all the COD universes together, every bundle's ever come out has always been far more tempting to buy from a consumer's point of view than ever before, because Warzone has been around long enough now to lead people to believe that Warzone isn't going anywhere, and to a degree it isn't going anywhere. However, Warzone 2 I can almost guarantee will be a clean slate entirely. No skins, blueprints, emblems, calling cards, anything whatsoever will transfer or port over to Warzone 2. And I've got something to back up my statement. Thankfully, from a fairly recent interview with some Warzone developers over at Raven Software, I believe Raven Software, we are able to get an idea of an answer to the question, will cosmetics transfer over to? So I'm going to play that now for you guys to watch and listen.
Yeah, I mean, we're still, working through, like you're mentioning, where everything is going in the future. I think the thing that we've been spending the most time now, as it relates to inventory is kind of touching on what I mentioned a bit earlier, is just how do we make choice feel meaningful? And this has been one of the challenges, right? Like when you look at how many operator skins and calling cards and blueprints, and there's just so much in there. And I think, I keep trying to think, we all keep trying to think of ways, like even right now, what would be the best way to kind of like make that a meaningful choice experience? And not outside of the friction of UX of like, my God, this is painful, literally, like going through hundreds and hundreds of things and trying to find something. So I think it's something that is really new for us, because like historically, obviously, with Call of Duty, it's been, prior to Warzone, it's been predominantly a game that kind of lives maybe a year or two of like sort of live services, and off we kind of go, we have a next one. And so a lot of this next game thing happens, so that kind of like you have a built-in quote unquote, sort of inventory reset as a result, because you're starting over again. So this is the first time we've actually had to face this, right? Like, oh my gosh, we actually have years growing of inventory, and there's technical challenges around it as well. It's not just from a user experience, right? Like the install size has been getting bigger and bigger. And a lot of it, a fair amount of it actually, is because of these skins and these cosmetics. So we're trying to figure out, the thing that we're primarily focused on around that is the technology. How do we get more, asynchronous cloud streaming, so that we can kind of like identify what should be and shouldn't be on each player's client. And then a user experience of like, what's, when we kind of release stuff, why? Like why do I want it? And maybe there's some way that we kind of think about there's a value to all this that isn't just, I just have a pile of stuff and then it just all looks like noise.
Now, obviously this isn't the first time we've heard a Warzone dev discuss and talk about the technical complications and limitations of Warzone and how bloated it is right now, with 3 different Call of Duty universes collided together, integrated all into one, and literally thousands upon thousands of cosmetics available from in the in-game store. We need to remember that there's around 15 seasons that now have been added since Warzone's launch. Over 150 weapons in the game that have countless blueprints and not to mention attachments. Over 90 operators exist in Warzone right now. And not to forget the crazy number of calling cards, emblems, watchers, emotes, etc. You name it. Warzone is extremely bloated and has been for a very long time. Not too many people know this, but Warzone wasn't meant to see the light of day soon after Modern Warfare 2019. 1 year life cycle had ended because back then, you know, that was the norm. Every single mode that came out of one Call of Duty title after a year would just be abandoned and left to inevitably die, to gain everyone's attention and focus on the newer Call of Duty title. No one really expected Warzone to still be around after Modern Warfare, and the developers definitely didn't. Treyarch's Blackout mode sequel, Blackout 2, was reported to be in the works, but soon got cancelled since Warzone had become this huge success that it still is today. All these seasonal content updates and whatever else has always negatively affected Warzone long term, and if the devs were to port over all the cosmetics from Warzone 1 into Warzone 2, the problem would still persist. Realistically speaking, I just don't see anything being ported over, even though I would obviously love to keep my Billy skin. I just don't see them porting over hundreds upon hundreds of unnecessary and irrelevant cosmetic items into a new generation version of Warzone. Warzone 2 is rumoured to be a next gen only experience. Obviously that does include PC as well that are capable of running the game. But yeah, and so I just don't think anything from last gen will carry over. Who knows, it might not even be possible at all. We know that the current Warzone engine has its limits, and I mean a lot of limits to say the least. This game was just never meant to have this much content integrated and running all at once. I don't think the tech was there, I don't think the foundation was ever there, and it's gotten to a point where it just simply doesn't work. I've been to hell and back as a lover of Warzone. I think a lot of people will agree with me on this, that we as a community have been through hell. We've been through very, very tough times when it comes to Warzone. Verdansk had its own set of problems, Pacific had even more problems. The current Warzone engine just sucks, to put it simply, and the developers, you know, they always say that when they update the game they inevitably and ultimately break things, just like every other update in every other game does. But the developers don't even know what they're breaking or how to fix it, because there's that much in the game right now that any little tiny tweak could fuck up an endless sequence and numbers of anything. My relationship with Warzone has always been very much a love and hate relationship. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I've always thought and said this, that I seriously doubt absolutely anything will port over to Warzone 2. I don't think anytime soon we'll actually get a definite answer from a developer or anybody from Activision, because if they said tomorrow that nothing from Warzone 1 was going to transfer to Warzone 2, Activision as a business would be damaging themselves as a business. They would be shooting themselves in the foot, because Activision and the dev teams under the Activision umbrella would be losing out on millions of revenue, because people would then just, you know, smell the coffee and cease to invest in this game anymore. But if I was you, I'd definitely save your money from here on out until Warzone 2 releases, because mark my words, Warzone 2 will be a fresh start for everybody. And yeah, I only buy limited time packs now. I used to buy almost every store bundle, but since this has become a possibility and come to my attention, I'm very hesitant to spend much money on this game. And I think that you should become quite hesitant as well and definitely save your money for Warzone 2. I think Activision as a business are actually kind of secretly, you know, rubbing their hands together and, you know, smelling the green stuff from doing this. I think they're purposely going to actually, you know, even if it was possible, I don't think Activision are, you know, that nice of a company to do this, to port things over. I think that as a greedy corporate business, which is what Activision is, let's be honest, from a financial or business standpoint, it would make more sense to just not port anything over, you know, make every player start from fresh again. Because a lot of players will be like me and still using skins from 2019. You know, like for example Jigsaw, that skin came out for the Haunting of Verdansk event back in 2019 when Modern Warfare was still in its life cycle, and a lot of people will have bought them skins, and then, you know, it's kind of discouraging players to spend even more money on the game if they can still just, you know, keep using the same skin from years ago. The majority of players aren't big spenders, and so, you know, they'll just be happy with the few skins that they've got, maybe from battle passes or, you know, skins that they bought like me years ago. Those players, or a lot of players, won't be interested in buying any of the new skins. So from a business point of view, it makes complete logical sense to maximise profits with Warzone 2 when that does drop. And whilst it is, you know, a shit thing to do, they don't really care about the player base as they've proven. And I'm not gonna lie, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a Warzone 3 in the coming years as well, and they're just gonna, you know, wipe everyone's fucking stats and bundle locker clean again, just for the sake of making more and more money. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope this did answer the question, help you guys out a little bit. Obviously, I don't have a definite answer. There is a small chance, you know, we could have, I don't know, maybe it would be cool to just have those limited time bundles part over, because, you know, they are kind of worth something. But realistically speaking, I don't think a single skin, a single emblem, a single calling card, a single emote, a single male operator's penis will be ported over whatsoever. I think they want to wipe the windows completely clean and just start fresh. And even if they don't port things over, you know, I think we've still got a bright future ahead for Warzone and Call of Duty as a franchise. Things like Xbox taking over next year. Warzone 2 is going to be its own separate application, going to be a next gen only experience. And we've also got a kind of DayZ kind of mode apparently coming, or some sort of escape to Tarkov mode. I've got no idea, but it does seem quite intriguing what they've got up the sleeve. So nonetheless, I'm still very excited to see what happens with Warzone 2 and of course Modern Warfare later this year. I've been Clements, you've been absolutely amazing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and take care.